Start recording. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, do you know, as soon as I hit live, I noticed that I wonder, I just need to check the mic batteries, because otherwise, just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, now why do you do that to me? All right, we're going to risk it for a biscuit. I'm going to keep my eye on it, okay, and see if we can run the battery down. This is like, got 3 bars, 2 bars and 1 bar, and it's got 2 bars. You should never start a show with 2 bars. Going to risk it for a biscuit, and also, God, that reminds me of Dave with petrol. He always is a monkey for that, you know. You're on a quarter of a tank and then he decides to go past the petrol station and you get down into the red area and he lets the next one go, and then you're thinking, I don't know how many times we've ended up rolling into a petrol station. some sort of perverse pleasure that Dave gets out of that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Come on in. The reason I'm looking at you like this is because the gauge, the thing that tells me about the battery, looks like I'm looking at you longingly. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe halfway through, when you're engrossed in the artwork, I'll change it. Okay, I'll do that. Have I got the batteries? I sure do. Okay, so it's fine. That's why we come to the party early, isn't it? Sound is good. Thank you. Stuart's in the building with you. So if you have any questions, do ask Stuart. I'm really enjoying these houses. I know you are too. I think many of you are really enjoying it too. Come on in. Good morning. It's a bit overcast today, not very nice. But hey ho, it's nice in here. Nice and warm where we are. What about you? All good? All good? It's very mild, isn't it? Very mild for this time of year. God, we're so English, aren't we? Talk about the weather. Lovely day for a walk, isn't it? Not today. We go on this walk because you can go from here, even though we're in lockdown. Of course we are. That was for the benefit of our friends from other countries. We're not allowed to... I don't know what we're not allowed to do anymore, but I don't think we're allowed to drive to places to go for a walk. I think that's out there. I never did anyway. But so there's a woods around the back here, which are really beautiful for walking, and you never see anybody. It's just amazing. I don't know why people don't use it, but they don't. Every now and again, very rarely, you'll see somebody coming towards you, and then it's all this. It's funny. You're in the middle of a woods. There's nobody there. It's not a crowded high street, and we move away from the path, and it's quite comical, really. But there you go. Social distancing and all that. You see somebody coming towards you at 100 paces, and you think, oh no, another human being. Whatever. It'll be fine. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Isn't it funny how we adapt, though? How we adjust to these things, eh? What's the time? 10 o'clock. Good morning. Come on in. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. And that's what we're doing. And I think we've got a real winner here with these little houses, haven't we? Some of the artwork all the artwork that I'm seeing on Clarity Worldwide is just fabulous. I love it. I love to see you run with something, you know, and put your own spin on it. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. A lot of us just hang out together and do it together, so to speak. And then some of you just stick with it and go down little side roads and do your own thing, and then you come back onto the main bus and you go along to the next stop, and then you get off and you do your own thing again. This is really cool, you know. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. Never think that it's anything other than brilliant. Okay, now let's have a look what we're doing today. Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing the little houses, and so we put our. Do you remember we did our work on a piece of tracing paper, didn't we? Let's have a look, see if you can see this, just so that we can do a little recap on from Monday. So let me just pop a piece of copy paper underneath and you can see what we did on Monday. Put my different glasses on. That's better. Right, so we drew it onto copy paper, didn't we? Now let's have a little recap now, because the reason that we do this on copy paper is so that then we can transfer it onto a different, got different ways now of transferring this onto different sorts, different surfaces, right? So now you could put this, for example, when you flip it over and you go over it again, it transfers the pencil work to whatever surface, be it a piece of copy paper, be it a piece of designer paper, be it watercolour paper, whatever you're transferring onto, of course it will be its mirror, it will be its reverse. So if you wanted it to look exactly as you've drawn it, like that, you're going to do two. You're going to go on here with a soft pencil, apply the outline. To be honest, you don't have to do all the little detail. It's the shape that you're after, isn't it? So you get the detail. Then you've got the graphite or the lead on this side. Then you flip it again, and then you transfer it again. So your tracing paper, this is your template. This is sacred. This is perfect, right? If you like this, if you like the shape that you've done, right? And then you use this to start the work. Does that make sense? It does to me. And so yesterday what I did was I went through the paces. To show you the next steps. I have to do them first and then I work out tricks and tips. So I've told you how to do the transfer with the pencil, just from flipping the tracing paper. And the other way, which is faster, and because, not that I'm a speed merchant, but I wanted to try it on different surfaces, so I wanted to make sure that it worked on different surfaces, right? And not only that, that you could wrap the different surfaces around canvases, right, little canvas boards. And so because of that, I went for a light wave. I was using the light wave. If you're wondering about the size, let's go back to our piece here. And what I did was, I said, do you remember, last week we were looking at bookmarks because we were talking about making presents for Christmas. So last week we did that lovely long art, didn't we? That came out really nice. On the buff paper, do you remember? Where have I put that? I've got it somewhere. And then this week I thought we'll either go canvas or coasters. So I drew around a canvas, little 4x4 inch canvas, see, but it would also sit really nicely in the coaster as well, wouldn't it? And then we had the little demo on Monday about how to get in the coaster. Just use your nail to flick it open. So that's easy. You just got to make sure you don't put anything too thick in there because the recess is only so much. Right, and it's got like a positive and a negative, and that needs to click in there. And then remember I said about putting a little 3mm, just a little bit of tape on two sides, and then that's permanent. It's a nice little present though, nice little present at Christmas. You know, nice little present. And then the canvas, the idea was that we'd be able to wrap it round a canvas, and I'll show you, because I tried it on something else. I thought, I'll kill two birds with one stone, I said. Now, where did I put, stay with me while I run around my room, run around the room. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. So I just thought I'd have a go for Saturday's TV show. I wanted to make sure that so we got these little stamps now, it's 3-way overlays, they're great. Right, tune in. But I thought I just wanted to check that the buff paper, because you don't want to do all this colouring in on here and then it doesn't adhere, and it works like a treat. So that's fine. I know that works. We know that the designer paper works, so we certainly know that copy paper works. So we're on it. We know what we're doing. We've got a plan, and we can wrap, you see, because what we were saying was, it's if you draw on here, it's not very nice to colour in on this. But if you take if you transfer your work, for example, to some buff paper, then you can do all your work and then wrap it round, you know. That's the way to do it, isn't it? See, and you know it's going to fit because you drew around it to start with. Right, so that's the reason why we've got these shapes. That's the reason why we went with that size. Okay, we're on that. So far, so good? So far, so good. So far, so good. Right. It's all right to have a little recap. Have a little sip of tea, and then we'll go again. Come on in. It's early days yet. So I'll show you what I was doing. I was putting all the different papers through its paces because I thought, we know that it works really beautifully on the buff, don't we? So let me show you how I transferred it, and then we'll have a look at what I actually got up to. Yas, yas, yas. So what I did was, I've got my my traced one, right? Not my traced one. I've got my one on tracing paper. That's what I mean. Right, so I've got my one on tracing paper, and then what I want to do though is transfer this now to other surfaces. So I transferred it to, the first thing I did was transferred it to a piece of copy paper, and the way I did that was with a light wave, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about because it makes life a lot easier. Just let me show you. You could do the transfer thing with the, you know what we just talked about, with the tracing paper and the flip, or you can use a light wave. Right, let's see how, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's take let me just show you my thinking so that it becomes logical. I think it's important that you know why you're doing something. You might remember it if you know why you're doing something. So let's say, for example, here's my light source underneath. I've got a light table, and now I've got my trace, right? And then let's take a piece of copy paper and I'll put it over the top, and I can see through it. Agreed? I can see through it, but not very well. Not very well. It's a little bit of a monkey, but it's good enough. I can see well enough to trace through it. If I was to take a piece of, this is the point, buff paper and put it over, I can see it, again, not very well, but I can see it well enough. So every time, then let's take a piece of designer paper. Hang on a minute. Let me just grab a piece of designer paper. Hold on, where's that great big stash I had? If I take a piece of designer paper, here we go. Put that on there, right? You can just about see it, but it's a little bit of a monkey, right? It is. So clearly, there's a solution here, isn't there? And I'll tell you what it is. What we need is we take our tracing paper, and it takes 5 minutes, it doesn't take long. We trace out, in ink, we trace out onto copy paper. See, because that is the thinnest, isn't it? It's only 80 GSM or something like that. So it's very easy to trace out copy paper, which is what we're going to do today. And you do it using your micron pen, right? Look, I've had a right old sort out in here. 001. This is all the gear that I used. In a minute, I'll show you. Right, so then what we've got then, we put our tracing paper to one side. We're going to use it in a minute to show you, but I want to show you the logic behind it. Now, once I've got my artwork on tracing paper, now watch the difference when I want to transfer it to different, because now it's black, not grayscale, right? So now I've got my picture here. Look, little dog, little carrot man. Now, if I take my buff paper, right, and I go over the top, now I can see it much, much, much better. Now it's a lot easier to transfer. Like, seriously, trust me on this one. If I take my designer paper, which is thicker again, right, now it's a lot easier to see. Maybe you can't see that very well, but it actually is much, much easier when you're face on, when you're staring at it. I can see that much better now. So easy to trace. So all I'm saying is, so of course you could take your pen and go over the tracing paper, but then you've killed the technique of the transfer. So it's a lot easier. Just take a piece of copy paper and make yourself a tracing template. Now you can trace it to your heart's content. And you could even use this one, when you've had enough of it, you could use this one as a wraparound on a canvas, you see? So that's the game today. And what we need to do that is a piece of copy paper. You up for this? Because I'm going to show you. All right, shall I show you what I did yesterday? And then you'll know where we're headed, right? So the first thing that we did, let's have a look. You can see here, I traced it out on copy paper. That was all, with a black, look, there you go. I said all you need is a pen and a piece of copy paper, nothing's changed. Right, everything else is just a bonus. Okay, so then what I did was I took that and then I 1, 2, 3 on here and I traced it onto the buff paper, the light buff paper. So now I've got one on copy paper, I've gone like that, and now I've put the one on buff behind it. Easy, right? So now we're on that one. Now the next one I did, I went to this paper, designer paper. This is the stuff that I was talking about. I wanted to see what it looked like on designer paper. So then I went to this one, and that's where I got hooked on the colouring in. And I just fell in love with doing this. Okay, so I want to show you where I blogged this yesterday, but I'm not even finished. Look, it took I was on it for hours working on different. I titivated, I played. Have a look though at the Christmas lights, the fairy lights. I've made them white. Now what I haven't done yet is, this is still a work in progress. I haven't added the snow. You can see I've added the snow to a couple of them. Let's see. I've added a little bit of snow on the window ledge, on the bridge, on the archway. I added a bit of snow there. I haven't added any snow in the bridge yet. I haven't finished it, that's why. You see, I just wanted to see if it worked, and it does. Boom! And the thing was, I showed Jim earlier, and he said, oh, did you colour that in with watercolour? I said, no, I used polychromos. He said, it looks like watercolour. The reason, of course, is because the designer paper in the background, the scrappy sky, makes it look like watercolour, doesn't it? So that's cool. And I thought, hey, look, see the little man with his dog? Look, little carrot man. It looks more like no, it is a dog, isn't it? It's a big dog. It's an Alsatian. It's a German Shepherd dog. What am I saying? Right. So what I wanted to do today, okay, because I want to show you how to do. Lots of you want to do the colouring in. A lot of you will want to go to where we were last week with the white and the blue, right? Like we did last week. So that'll look fabulous on here, won't it? And then you've got copy paper as well, if you want to go with copy paper. So you can colour it in on copy paper too. So these are all our choices. Now, because I'm going with the vast majority of you, always, right? You know, you can go on design paper, you know, buff, you know. I'm going to use, right, the buff paper at the back, because the buff paper, it's got a lovely texture for colouring in, only because I want to attach it to canvas. So the copy paper is a little bit thinner, quite a bit thinner than the buff paper. So I'm going to flip the buff paper around, and I'm going to trace my picture onto buff paper eventually, right? But to begin with, the first thing we've got to do is take our tracing paper and trace it onto something, haven't we? Do you get what I'm saying? So you get what you need to get started, because otherwise we're going to lose the whole hour planning this and not actually doing it. All right. So we need, for example, have you transferred yours already? Tracing paper, copy paper, right? Let's do that first. Let's do the actual transfer onto copy paper, because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see through it to do the buff, right? And then what we'll do is, this is my opinion. right? There is so much loveliness in this particular piece of artwork, okay, that I want to carry this through next week, so that it would be such a shame, I feel, if we rush this, because there's so much to learn in here, right? We could transfer it on. We could have a go on here, see what it looks like. We could try it on designer paper. If you get, we got little packs of it. You want light. You want light or scrap, anything, right? You've got the buff paper. You flip it and do the white on there. But I was thinking that the whole week next week, because we've only got Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Right, I could show you how to do this colouring if you fancy it. Yeah, it's not hard, but we could colour in our own artwork instead of going to the birds. Let's do our own artwork, shall we? I think we're good enough, aren't we? We know what we're doing. We needed some colouring pencils, people, eh? And a load of time on your hands, which we've got. Right, so now come on then. I'm going to trace this one out. I get excited because I want to share it because it's so cool. But be warned, it takes time, that colouring. I was surprised how long I was on it. However, I know some tricks now. Not fast forward tricks, but certainly how not to go wrong. Right, you ready? Sorry to bother you again, but there's something I wanted to point out. If this is going to be the one that you actually want to use, right? If this is the one, see what I'm doing is I'm making my tracing template, if you get what I mean. Do you get what I mean? So I'm using the tracing paper. I'm working with you. So I'm using the tracing paper and I'm tracing it through to paper. Yeah? I've already done this once, haven't I? I've already done it. I've done this. Now, when you look at mine, you'll see that the lines here, they're just straight lines. On the one, on these, you'll see I've got all the, look, I'll show you. Look again, you'll see that suddenly they've got the Christmas lights on. So, this is the first thing that I figured out when I was tracing this. The very first thing you want to do, right, first of all, the shape. Get the shape down, and then the very first thing you want to do is the lights. Now, it's up to you. If you want to, like, I didn't figure it out till it was too late because I couldn't really see very well. But if you want to use this as your colour inner, then follow my instructions now, okay? First of all, we're going to put the, I think what I'll do, let's pretend, right, that this is, it just makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. Otherwise, we're going to spend the first 10 minutes and you won't know where I am, right? Do you get what I mean? So what I'm going to do now is use my already traced out one on the copy paper so you can see better what I'm doing. You're using your tracing paper one. Does that make sense? Right, hold it down with a bit of copy paper. Right, sorry that I keep it. Do you know what? I just don't want you to go wrong and then get frustrated. Let me just do that. Right, so then once we've done that, this is just a bit of copy paper. Then we're gonna make the shape and go on like that. Okay, just stay there a minute while I'll cut a corner. I said to myself before we got together today, don't make it too complicated, Gray. And here I am, making it complicated. Right, 01 pencil, 01 pen, micron pen, copy paper. And you're making your template now, right? So round the outside we go. This is exactly the same. We're going from the tracing paper now, if you like, to whatever surface you're going to be working on. Right, that's that. Okay, so we've got the shape. If you're going for the coaster, you've got to work it out accordingly. Yeah. Then we're going to go to the, let's do the edge. Let's just do the, it's 1/4 of an inch on the inside. Okay, let's just get your frame in. That's it. And we'll get this one in first. See, I spent quite a lot of time going, oh, I wish I'd figured that out earlier, which is why I'm racing ahead of you so that you get it right. Right, so now you can see. The next thing I want to do is believe it or not, is the last thing that we did last time. Now I want to put in my, there you go, my bunting or my wire or my Christmas decorations. Whatever it is that you've decided, now's the time to put it in. So we'll make a little ring so that it's attached. There we go. See, once you've done this, then you can start to add your actual lights. But we've got to do all this before. If you did the bunting, now you'd have to do the bunting. If you wanted to do like happy birthday Dominic, you know, you could make it into a birthday card. You see, happy birthday Dominic, Merry Christmas Mum and Dad. You could make bunting now that would exactly MERRYCHRIST. Do you see what I mean? So it's up to you. I'm just saying that it's all ideas. And what I'm going to do though is show you how to make the, let's go in tight so you can see it better, how to make the fairy lights or whatever they're called. The Christmas lights. The Christmas lights. Let's have a look at them on the other screen so you can see. I think it's always a good idea to see where you're headed. There you go. See them? It's going closer so you can have a better look. Right, so they're hooked and they're swaying in the wind and they get smaller as they go further away. Do you see? Like a picket fence. Do you see? Have a look. Bigger at the front and then they get tinier as they come away, don't they? Okay, so let's do that, shall we? So we're starting with the big one in the middle and we're going to go like hook, then we'll have a little electrical thing and they're going to be like that. That's going to be my shape. And I'm going to make the hooks first. Hook, hook, getting tighter, 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 tighter. Right, and then here we'll make a big one, hook, get this one swinging a bit, I think. Let's have a think. Make that one swing that way, and then they're going to get tighter again. That'll do. So put them in first, you see. So this one here, right, here we go. Hook, 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 tiny hooks, like that. Little things. I love little detail like this, don't you? Right, and then this one's going to be bigger because it's at the front. So we're going to go, right, hook, hook, getting tighter, going away, make a big one there. I'm going to make a big one there. And then we'll make them go a little bit further away again, like that. Nice. Okay, you get the picture. Okay. But I bet you can understand now why I did it in black and white underneath first, to be able to see it. Yeah? Okay. So let's have a look. It'd be interesting to know what you're using, whether you're using buff or copy paper. When I go to do the wrap around the canvas, I'm definitely going to use designer paper or the the buff, but the white side, okay? So this is going to be, if you like, this is your template, isn't it? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you don't want to spend too much time on this like me. I just got caught up in it yesterday. I loved every minute of it, actually. Yeah. Right, so a little electrical box, and then the bulb. That's what we're going to call them, bulbs, fairy light bulbs. And you could make them colourful, couldn't you, if you wanted, or you could make them white like me, because I made the houses so colourful. I made the houses so colourful that I thought they're going to get lost here, aren't they? That's a bit big, grey. Christ, if that fell down on your head while you were walking along the high street, you'd certainly feel it, wouldn't you? Right. Concentrate, Barbara. There we are. Now they're going to get smaller. Think it through. It's a bit of a swinging wind, this one. But there you go. That one's a little bit light. Could always do a couple of broken ones. That'd be real, wouldn't it? Oh, that one's dropped. There you are. See, so you can see exactly. It's like art. Any sort of stamping art, you've got to put these in first, haven't you? If they're going to stand out. Right, these need to get smaller, Barbara, not bigger. Look at the size of these things. Right, tiny now. Tiny. That'll do. Whatever. Okay, so once you've got your fairy lights in, your Christmas lights, I've got a lot more on this than I have on that one. Look. It's all right. Then you can put your houses in. So now you just work your way around that. So you've got your black pen, and now you can just take your time and ink up. See, when you get to this bit here, for example, now you've got to go through there like that. It's all right though, isn't it? It's the finished effect is so cool. That'll do. See? And if there's something you want to change, now's the time to change it, you see. So if there's something you didn't like before, what you may find is if you're working with the tracing paper in the background, because it's not so easy to see, you might find it easier starting at the base and working your way up your picture like this. There we are. So this is just copy paper, okay? Because I'm going with the majority vote here. I'm going with most of you will just have copy paper. And so that's who I'm working with. But I personally, I'm going to use something a little thicker than copy paper. But for now, it's fine. Right, here we go. Let's put these, let's just get the shapes of the houses. I think that's the most important thing, really, isn't it? But if we work on this week and next week, and we know there's no rush on this, no rush at all, we can, I think that's the best thing to do. I really do. So what we're going to do today is make our template. And then before Friday, how's this sound? Before Friday, what I'd like you to do is transfer this then onto either And it's up to you what you've got at home, you see. Either onto the buff at the front, buff at the back, or designer paper. It's whatever you've got, right? That's choices, choices, choices. Okay, but today what we're doing together is our inked up template, including our fairy lights or our bunting, and then that's how we're going to work forward. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's about, oh come on, let's come back down the bottom. See this house here, I want to make it a bit bigger, because you know that little tiny one in the, I wasn't too thrilled with that. I wouldn't be happy if I bought that, would you? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up a little bit. I'm going to bring the roof up. We've just extended it. Look, that's better. Right, I didn't like what I had there, so I'm going to change that. I'll put it still needs a chimney, but it's certainly, look, you'd have to get in the front door on your knees. I lived in a house like that once, where you whacked your head every time you walked in. But I think what we do need is a little, let's have a little tiny window up the top like that. That's better. That looks a little bit more desirable as a first time home. Look, you could even put a little window in now. There you are. Let's put it behind that one. That's better. Looks a lot more sociable, that does. Right. Yeah. So once you've got your inked design, so I'm not that keen on, cool, that's a knob, isn't it? You'd need both hands to open that. Oh, yeah. Right, steps up to this one. This is the main house, isn't it? Okay. Right. So any adjustments, anything you want to change, now's the time to change it, isn't it? So if that's that door there, do I actually want a panel as well? It looks a bit busy. Maybe a top panel and not a bottom panel. That's more like it. That's it. So we're transferring now. Okay. Doesn't take long, does it? You just got to watch whatever's at the front. Now's the time to put it in, isn't it? There we are. See, if you wanted to put something in the windows, you put a little cat in the window. If you wanted. You could personalise it, couldn't you? There we are. Make a nice round arch window. If you take your time, you get really good lines. Take your time. And you'll find, as soon as you slow down, your breathing will improve, and so will your artwork. Let's have a look. Let's do this little fella here. Remember the carrot men when we were in Leiden? This actually reminds me a lot of Leiden. This is in the Netherlands. This is a beautiful town. There we go. Hands. Should put some boots on him. Yeah. Crikey, look at those boots. All right, Uggs. Dog next. Now, dog. Let's have a think. Concentrate, Grey. Do the back and the tail, and then come up like so. Leg. Do a little head. Can always make the head bigger. It's not so easy to make it smaller. There you go. You've got two legs at the front and one at the back. Perfect. Give him an ear. Oh, and then we'll black him out. We'll make him a silhouette. He's a black lab. There you go. Long tail. Nice. There you go. So we've got a little dog, little man. Give him a hat. Oh, he looks like Napoleon. The size of his hat. Anyway, It's okay. I've already got one I did earlier. Oh dear, oh dear. So this transfer trick, apart from being really therapeutic, it will help you immensely when you go to prepare your canvas or your coaster. There you go. See, and once you've got all your windows and your ledges all sorted, the good part is when you go to colour and you yeah, it's great because you can start putting snow on the windowsills and that, but you have to create the windowsill first, don't you? Right, let's keep going here. Right, bridge next. And then if the bridge touches, see, that all adds to the effect, you see. If it's hanging in front, it looks really cool. Right, and then the bridge now you know what it's going to look like here. You can add a little bit more interest, like this, you see, so that the, hang on, let me just get this right. So it's more like that, see? Right. That's it. Okay. So now you can add a bit more interest in the stonework. That's what I mean. If you want to. Or maybe you just want to keep it simple. Right. We've got a couple of little windows here to add to the depth. Nice. How are you getting on? Everybody happy? So once you've, this is the nice part of it really, is to ink up all this, isn't it? And I can't rush it though. It wouldn't be right to rush it because, to be honest, on Monday all we managed was the rough sketch, wasn't it? So we don't want to rush it. That chimney looks a bit weird. I think I'm going to even that up a little bit. See, now I can. There we are. You could put a tree behind there, couldn't you, if you wanted to? You just got to avoid the fairy lights. Right, we've got that archway here. So we can change that a little bit as well if you choose to. Now's the time. Right, so we've got a little bit of stonework coming around the edge there. Very traditional grey. Right, now my lamp needs to come up a little bit because it's caught. So I'm going to hang the lamp a bit higher so that you can actually see it. That's it. Lamp's hung a bit higher. Nice. Okay, that comes down like that. Then we'll bring this house in here. There, and all this was so that we could put these, but when you turn this off, look, you see how it's coming together? What's important is that we put them in first. That's the entire exercise here. But again, I'm not going to race ahead. See, and I felt as well when I did this, I didn't like the way I did like the same roof here and here. So I changed the roof. When I went to this one, you'll see I changed the roof. I did squares. And then I thought, what have I done? That looks ridiculous. But actually, when I coloured it in, it looks great. So you do have to keep thinking. See, I changed it a bit here. Now's the time to change things. You know, now's the time to put your detail in. Just let's get the shape in though. So along here, for example, that was another thing that I figured out. Right, if we're going to do this kind of fish tile looking roof, right, watch, if I, rather than close it up at the bottom, because that always is a bit of a, looks ugly. If we do this, so you know how to do this, right, so you go, you sort of loop, scallop across like that, and then you scallop to the middle of that one, and you just keep going like that. But what we're going to do, you see, instead of drawing a line along there, we're going to use the scallop in a minute as the base, because that looks good. Now let's have a look. What have we got going on here? That one, that one, that one. Now we've got a little bit of busyness over here, so we'll ignore that for a minute. And now I'm going to come through here now, like that. And then when I get to there, that can go up there, like that, and then come back around the bottom again. That'll do. Right, you see? So now that's going to look much nicer, that across there. On that one, we put a snow gutter. This one, I'm not going to do what I said. And this one, I'm going to bring that window down a little bit. I think I'll bring the window down. It's a little bit too high because I want to put a, if I put my little snow, look, see that there? See, it's dry now. So what I did was I made it white, but let me show you. If I, now it's completely white. Now it's so easy for me to make my little window, you see? Same here. In a minute, I'm going to make that white because you can't see it really. But if I take my little white pen, my Posca pen, where are they? I know I've got them here somewhere. That's why I put it all in a bowl because I thought I'll never find it otherwise. If I take my Posca pen, right, just a little bit of scrap to get the pen going. I know I digress, but that's okay. Right. See, to make that come out, what I'll do now is I'll add the whiteness to the base like that. That's going to be my little window there. I've got another one here that's not showing up very well. So see, I'm going to put them all, I haven't finished that one yet, so I can't do that one yet. I can only do this where I've done the colouring. See, and then when that's dry, then I can put my little houses in. So it's a layers, it's a sequence thing. And what we're doing at the moment, we're preparing. We're doing the, you know, the prep is the biggest part really. But it's okay, be all right. And now's the time you can change your picture because you can look ahead a little bit. See, I want to put that window in there. This window, look, I've got all this gap here. So I'm going to bring the window ledge down to here. This is where we could have put a balcony, didn't we? I put a balcony on my tracing paper. I've decided to go with a window again though, because it's too cold for a balcony. So now I'm going to come up like so and round like that. There you go. So I've made plenty of room for my little white, see? That's all I'm saying is, now's your chance. I'm going to put some snow on that window ledge, look. See? Oh, hindsight is a wonderful thing. Yeah, but that looks so good and it's so easy. But in order to do that, I need to give myself a window ledge. So I'm going to give myself a big window ledge like that. And this window, I'm just going to make it into a magnificent, just a big boof, open that window. Fabulous. See now those windows behind, because I made so many, I may reduce that to 2 because it's a little bit extreme, isn't it? If you see what I mean. So I may make just 2. And that's what I mean. See, it's a moving feast. You could do what you like. You change it every time. once you've got your template in, your basic shapes are there, aren't they? Let me put another one in. Bit of symmetry grey, eh? I'll put that one there like that. And that'll come around the back like that. Nice. Around the back of the houses, so to speak. There. Perfect. So instead of 3 windows, we've got 2 windows there. And again, here, I want to put one of them big round, you see them a lot, you know, those skylights like that, don't you? And again, I want to put a big window ledging, so I'm thinking snow here. Right, and then that comes up like that. This one I'll make it like that, like so. That'd be nice. Right, we've got a couple of windows behind here. I'm going to put one window in here, like that. That's it. That comes down. What have we got here? That'll do. Yeah, and then I might put one back there as well, just 'cause. When you colour it in, it all comes to life. But now's the chance. Let's have a look what we got. Yeah. You see, it's almost easier. Now you've got your main shapes in, so you can see where you've missed a bit. So you go back in again. Right, let's put the lines of the wall in. Then when you turn it off, it's almost easier then to put your windows in and what have you. Maybe it's easy. Maybe you find it easier to do it without your guide. You see, once you've got your shape, it's up to you. And then you can turn it on and off as if you can't think what am I doing. Then you can use your template, or if you want to change your scene, turn the light off and just go for it again. Look, it's nice. It's nice. Let's do these. There we are. Along we go. Slowly does it. Paul's on telly at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock today. He's got some superb. He's on Hochanda, and he's doing some wonderful. Oh, they're great. Linda Williams, her Snow family. They're so cute. Hang on, I'm losing my plot here. They're so cute. Like really, really, yeah, just so fun. Let me turn that off. I think I can see better without it. Yeah, 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Do tune in. They're just so delightful. It's like build a snowman. It's like building a snowman in Groovy. We ought to put them in, make them into stamps. Really, they're so good to use. There's just loads of, you know, like you got a carrot for his nose and his coal for his eyes, and there's a mother snowman and a baby snowman. I mean, it's cute. It's very, very cute. It's very, very uplifting. Have a look at that. See what you think. I'm going to put that skylight in there. Yeah. So Paul's on at 1 o'clock. Right, skylight. Nice. Got another little window there. So I know what I'm going to do with that. I'm definitely going to do my little trick with the white afterwards. And then I've got some tiny... I'll turn that off now just to put my tiny little detail in here as well. Right, here we go. Is the sound still okay? I will change the batteries for Friday, promise. Promise. Now, this roof here, you see, I think this would look pretty cool if we did some lines. What do you think about that? That's pretty cool. Right, that's that one sorted. That wasn't too hard. Got the bridge, got that. So actually, this is going to have a line, because this has got to be, there you go, like put like a tunnel. There's got to be a street here as well, isn't there? So it's going to go through there, like so. That'd be fun. Still working on that in my head. And then this one here. So we've got choices. We could do a checker, like I did there. Or again, I could make lines. I could do, this is quite nice for colouring in. You might enjoy that. The checker, it was like, oh, what have I done? See, this looks pretty cool. Just different, isn't it? There you go. So that's a line. And then I'm going to put the snow. See how you put your snow on top? Right. So that, you see, and then this one here, let's just put, you can, it's a bit of a doodle really, but you can do what you like. Look, make little dots like that. Then that's the, so we could do this. Look. Yeah. So these ones now, these are double ones, aren't they? Okay. That'll do. And we'll stop it because it's too much. There you go, you see. So you get all this, and until you've got your, right along here, for example, this is where you can put all your different, you could put little, well, what do we fancy? See, I put little scallops in down the edge, like proper little, maybe it's too much. The decorating, that's what we're doing now, aren't we? Bit of decorating, like that. It's cool. This little roof needs a little bit more. See, and once you've done all this, then you can start colouring. Cool, cool. Okay. And then the outside edge, let me tell you, this is easy to do, but we haven't actually drawn any attention to it, but I want to show you how I did it. With the outside edge, if you use a ruler like this, this is a, like we've got Pergamano rulers, we've got this one, any of these rulers will do the job. They've got like 1/4 inch lines, you see, like that. So you can go like so, and then you can make your pattern. Don't need that. Let's do it like this. See, so I take my grid, if you like, and I can see exactly where the next line goes. So I just put it here and here. Then I line this up with that line, and I'll go to the next line, you see? And I line it up, and then I go here and here. So all I'm doing is using the grid on the ruler. You could do it freehand if you felt inclined. You don't need a ruler. You can measure it out if you feel you want to get it exact. But this is all a little bit woo-wah and funky, isn't it? See? So you just work your way up like this. And this is going to give us our fields to put patterns in. But we'll do that later. We'll do that next week. That's not something we've got to worry about now. But I just wanted to show you how you get your grid in. You see? Like that. It's easy, isn't it? So we go all the way up. And then when you get, what I found was, because I can't really see yet whether it's going to fit at the top. So I go halfway up, like this. And then when I start getting to the top, what I'm going to do is when I get to the top, I turn it round. And then I'm going to come in from the top and see how, because I can adjust it, you know, as I get closer. But it's easy, it doesn't show so much if it's halfway down than if it's right at the join at the top. See, so now this is going to be a little bit bigger. These two are going to be, or a little bit smaller. What do I think? So I could do 1, 2, or 2 larger ones, or leave it. I'm going to do 2 larger ones, see? Right there. Like that. And no one will ever know. There you go. No one's going to look that close, are they? And then the same thing, when you turn it round, you do the same thing on this side. So you use your ruler to make the boxes go in the other way. You may not want to do boxes. You may want to do rectangles. You may want to do patterns. You may want to do circles. I'm going to do them within my boxes to make a really sort of folk arty frame as well. And the other thing that looks really cool, even if just black and white checkers, you know, like we did right at the beginning of lockdown, when we were right in the first week of the SHAC. We did some very cool borders, and that will be what we'll use around the edge to finish it. But this is a perfect example. This sort of doodle is a perfect example of it's not over until it's actually finished. You know, this is gonna take a week to do, but it's going to be brilliant when it's done. Okay. And that's it really for today. Once we've got our template in, then what we can do is, once we've established our line art and we're happy with this, and we've got it on the surface that we're going to colour in, that's really where we want to go now, isn't it? So white copy paper, the back of the buff, which is what I'm going to go to, or designer paper if you've got some. If you haven't got some and you want some, this one here, the one I used here, that is from Amazonia. That one's from Amazonia. It's the back of that one. Right, I'll show you a couple of them in a minute, just in case you think, oh, I'm going to go for the coloured paper, because we see that also looks really nice just framed. You know, that's the other thing. It looks really good just framed in a picture. So in other words, you take that and then you set it more in the middle, and then you frame it in a frame. There you go, in a black mount board. That looks really nice too. But we still want to put the pattern around here. There's lots of work still to do. What makes this is the sky, that blotchy effect. See, that's pretty cool. And as far as let me just have a look at the different colours here. I'll show you a couple of different examples. So we got Toscana. I looked at the ones that I thought would work really well if you want to do this on designer paper. I looked at the two that I think are Toscana and Amazonia, and the reason I say that is because it's not so much the front, right? Oh, hang on, let's go. You can't see it. Let me go out a bit so you can see it better. That's better. Now you can see it better. Right. It's not so much the front picture as the back. You see, because you want some white in there. See, that would be, it's too dark, but it's a beautiful piece. But the back is magnificent. You see? See what I'm getting at? That's the point. You want something light, but it's deceiving how much of an impact this is. And if you were going to put that in the middle, see, it'd be really nice there. See, not the front, it's the back you want. And all of them on the back have got a really nice muted, you can see any one of these ones would work, depending on, that one's good, because it's got a lot of white in it, you see. Yeah, so that was the Toscana one, and then the other one is the Amazonia. I'm not sure if we've sold out of this. I'm not sure if we've had to go to reprint on this one. But this is the newest one. Right, see what I'm talking about? That's lovely. That would be beautiful. So these are the ones, you see, because look at that sky. You get what I mean? If you stamped, see, I said the stamper. If you put this picture into that area and you had that pink in the sky, that would look magnificent. And the other thing is that the background gives you a really good, see, that one's a bit grungy, but it would look fabulous. See that there in that area. So what you can do is, if you're not sure, you take your tracing paper and you just go over it and you say, yeah, that's the one, or that's the one. But there are some really cool ones. And if I got to narrow it down, I would say either, see, look here, either Amazonia or Toscana. Those are my two. The ones I'd go to if you were interested in doing that. However, you don't need to. I can't impress on you enough. Copy paper will do the job as well. You just need some colouring pencils now. So on Friday, when we get together, we'll start moving in this direction. Okay. Now we've got the fairy lights in the right place. Or, like I said, Merry Christmas, Mum and Dad. You could put your bunting in and then put the letters in the bunting. That'd look fabulous as well. So you've got between now and Friday 10 o'clock to decide which way you want to go. And then on Friday, we'll start with the colouring in. You choose your surface, okay? So have a fabulous day. Don't forget to tune in to Paul at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock today with those fabulous snowmen families from Linda Williams, the beautiful. Thank you, Stuart, for your help. And I'm going to crack on because I've got telly on Sunday that I've got to prepare for too. Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to I'm really looking forward to doing this with you. And you know, it's 11. Is it 11 o'clock? It's 11:02. 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Yeah, there you go. So maybe we could have just a moment's silence. It's supposed to be 11 o'clock, but do you know what? I'm sure we can be forgiven for being a minute late, don't you? Let's just stop and think about all those who gave their lives. Yeah. It's Remembrance Day, isn't it? Lest we forget. Okay? Yeah. Let's have a reality check, shall we? Thank you. Silence is golden, isn't it? Just time to reflect, you know. Never forget, always remember. It'll be fine. Okay, God bless. I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye now.